You personally write it down extra rare, medium rare, or well done, and that's the way it comes. I have not had a mistake made on my hamburger since I've been eating there, and it's a very long time. The second thing that the Outback has is consistency in food, and their prices are reasonable. For a double quarter pounder with cheese, just to give you one instance, it's exactly $10, and it comes with fries. The fries are large, meaty fries. They're not that shoestring type of potatoes that you get in some of these little oddball restaurants. They are fresh potatoes. If you get your meal with mashed potatoes, understand they are fresh potatoes mashed. The food at the Outback is consistent and excellent. So you're talking about $10 for a double quarter pound cheeseburger. The thing that I want you to be aware of is that's the only place that I know of in Alona Beach to get a good hamburger. I've tried other hamburgers and I don't like them. Now also at the Outback, for about $7, you get this chicken schnitzel. And the chicken schnitzel is two huge chicken fillets with a crust on it, like a battered crust. That is excellent, $7. You can get an order of fried onion rings. You are going to say, I have never had onion rings that tasted this good in my entire life. I don't know how the woman who runs the kitchen, who is an American, I don't know how she makes the batter. She told me it was a beer batter with, I think she said, pancake mix, but it was so loud I couldn't understand all the words she was saying, and her mother and father happened to be on vacation, and there was conversations going in 6 or 7 different directions, and I didn't get the whole recipe. But rest assured, if you watch my Outback Steakhouse videos from before now, this is now November 19th, if you watch my Outback Steakhouse videos, you're going to see one of the men that came to visit me, Peekaboo 2 for you, talk about the most amazing onion rings that he's ever had, and I have never had onion rings that good either. I don't know how they do it, but they have the best onion rings that I've ever eaten. So you can rest assured that all the other meals are just as magnificent as the hamburger with fries. The onion rings are separate, and the hamburgers are always cooked to your selection. Unlike in other parts of the world where they will no longer cook rare meat, they will do that at the Outback Steakhouse. Now there's a big price differential when you buy shrimp, just for instance, or calamari. Yesterday, now do not eat the calamari at the Outback Steakhouse. You will not eat it. You will just leave it on the table. I don't know where they buy their calamari from. I talked to the owner. I talked to the woman in charge of the kitchen. She rest assuredly, she said, we're going to change our supplier. I don't know if that happened, but I would suggest you do not buy the calamari. I don't know what it was about. It was absolutely tasteless. The crust was perfect, just like the onion rings, but the calamari itself was tasteless. So, we're talking about the price of shrimp in the Philippines. When you go to the market, you can get large shrimp for about 500 pesos, and I'm talking about those big 6-inch shrimp. All shrimp here seems to have been frozen first. So now, if you're talking about getting those big 5-6-inch shrimp, they're about $10 a kilo. However, on Alona Beach, if you go into a restaurant, they're going to ask you for 3,000 pesos per kilo, or 60 American dollars. So if you buy them in the market, and you cook them, it's $10 a kilo. If you buy them in Alona Beach, it's $60 a kilo, and they cook them for you. That does not include drinks or soda or anything. So if you like shrimp, I suggest you get a hotel room that has a stove in it and cook it yourself, because $60 a kilo for shrimp, and they're frozen, is just ludicrous in the pricing. Now, they also have fresh lobsters. They are Florida lobsters without the claws. They are also $60 per kilo. And if they have been in the tank for any length of time, chances are the shells are close to empty. Between the shipping and how long they've been in the tank, there's no way of knowing unless you're a lobster specialist and you could pick up a certain size lobster and know if the shells are empty or not. So seafood on Alona Beach is extremely expensive. And the only good place to get seafood is to get the seafood behind the Outback Steakhouse, which is also 3,000 pesos per kilo for shrimp and or lobster. The difference is the shrimp are in a tank. The lobsters are in a tank too. I don't know if they feed them to keep the meat weight ratio up, but the shrimp they do feed. I've seen them feed it, and then you know you have a fresh shrimp that's been fed today. Just like when I lived in Key Largo, Florida, the fish you had for lunch ate breakfast this morning. Or the fish you had for dinner had lunch today. Now, I don't know how much longer Daisy's going to be able to maintain this posture, but it's going on 6 minutes plus now. I find that amazing. So, and I can't zoom in on it because then you would lose the ability to see that she is not cheating in any way, shape, or form. And this is the second time today that Daisy has done this routine. She decided after doing most of the routine, that she wanted to do it again and I would make a video. Well, she's doing it again, and this is the second time today she has done this routine. So this is not a one-off. We haven't had breakfast yet. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Typically the sun would be so hot, it would be blistering hot at this point, but we have a full cloud cover now. Now, that was something I wanted to talk to you about. When you make your trip to the Philippines, there's a hat that covers your whole head. You're going to need a hat if you're going to be on the beach. And it's a big bamboo, made out of bamboo hat. In Alona Beach, to give you a for instance, the hat costs $12. On any of the beachfront hotels or resorts or sari stores, they want $12 for the hat. If you have 2 people, that's $24 for 2 bamboo hats. What I suggest you do when you get off the plane, if you're in Tagbilaran, which is where the planes are landing now, when you get off the plane, I suggest you go to the ICM Mall and walk across the street, and you'll see a bunch of vendors. They sell those same hats for $5. You might get the tourist price of $6 or $7. Just tell them you are willing to pay 250 pesos maximum for the hat, yes or no, and typically they will give you the hat for 250 pesos. Use the sunblock, and one more thing I should tell you is to bring a set of water shoes and or Tiva sandals that you can walk on the beach with, because the sand temperature at noon in Alona Beach is 135 degrees on average if the sun is out in its full powerful glory. The tarmac or the street that you're going to be walking on, any blacktop at noon is going to be 160 to 165 degrees. You're going to need a good pair of shoes, and flip-flops work to some degree, but if you're walking on the beach and you decide to go in the water, flip-flops have a tendency to sink down into the sand and fall off. I would suggest a good set of Tiva sandals or a good pair of water shoes that you can get from REI Sports or any other good sports store. Daisy, you're up at around the 26 minutes.
Huh?
You have been on one leg for 23 minutes, Daisy.
Really?
Yeah? Do you want to go more? You want to go 25 minutes?
Okay.
Okay. You want to go 30?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll let you know. Okay, I wish I could zoom in on her face, but I don't want to lose the I want to keep your foot in the foreground in the video so they know you're not cheating. So now there are other suggestions that I could make while you're here is shop for your food. If you're going to have a hotel room, whether it has a kitchen or not, you can go to the supermarket in Tagbilaran called the BQ Mall. That's Bravo Q as in Queen, Bravo Queen Mall, or the ICM Mall, which is located not far away from that. You can take a tricycle for about 60 pesos, and you can take the tricycle to the ICM Mall and do some food shopping there, but I always found the prices to be better at the Bravo Queen BQ Mall. So when you get there, go down into the basement, that's where the supermarket is, and load up on any food items that are not perishable. And even in the cold cut section, they have pre-packaged foods like cheese and something like salami. When I say something like salami, it looks like salami, but it doesn't taste like. It's not. It's definitely not Italian grade salami from the States. But it looks like salami, and that if you have a propensity for cold cuts, you can buy fresh bread there for less than $1 a loaf, and you can get your cold cuts, and then you can get some canned goods, and you can buy your soups if you're going to have snacks. Typically, like a container of noodle soup at the BQ Mall would be maybe 17 pesos, but if you buy it out at a restaurant or on the beach, you're going to pay about 60 or 70 pesos for a little container of noodles with some warm water. So the hotel rooms always give you warm water, so you can have your snacks in there. It depends on your budget. This video is typically addressed to people that are working on a budget or just like to have what they want to eat when they want to eat. Now, snacks like potato chips, pretzels, and popcorn, well, if you're going to buy that kind of stuff, you might as well load up at the mall with that, because typically they double the price of snacks, and the bags are smaller when you buy it from a sari store. For like, let's say, to give you an instance, Lay's potato chips, L-A-Y-S, Lay's potato chips are now $10 a pound, 500 pesos, $10 for a 1-pound bag of potato chips, and that was last year when I checked. A 1-ounce bag is 30 pesos, or 60 cents for 1-ounce bag of potato chips. Same thing with the rest of those chips. So that's in the supermarket. When you go to the store, they add another 20% onto that. So if you like potato chips, pretzels, and popcorn, what you really need to do is buy some bulk at the supermarket and and store them in your hotel room. Now, another thing that you should do to save money is the tricycle drivers, they even do it to me. Let's say you're at the Tagbilaran Airport and the tricycle, you want to go to Alona Beach. They'll tell you, if you don't walk up and say Mayon Buntag or Mayon Hapon or Mayon Gabii, okay, if you don't say that, they're going to know you're not from the Philippines, know nothing about the Philippines, and they'll tell you a price of about 700 pesos for a tricycle ride to Alona Beach, especially if you're going to Alona Beach, because that's a tourist destination. Don't give them any more than 350 pesos. Never give a tricycle driver more than 350 pesos to the city from Alona Beach or back from the city. However, if you're in Alona Beach and you want to go to Tagbilaran to go food shopping, typically you can get a tricycle for 250 pesos to the BQ Mall.
Very nice, Michael.
Salamat! Typically you can get a tricycle to the BQ Mall from Alona Beach for 250 pesos or 300 pesos, which is $5 American, or in fact